Good evening. Welcome to Mi Gente on Air this Tuesday evening as we bring you a live special show with some live music tonight. And we have a special guest. He is one of Tejano's greats here in the Midwest and throughout the nation, I would say, because I always believe that those of us here in the Midwest, the musicians, are as good as anywhere else. And I want to make sure that everybody is going to get a good view and listen to some great music tonight as we talk about the Garcia legacy. The Garcia legacy of Saginaw Bay City, the Great Lakes Bay region. And we're talking with the great Champ Garcia here on social media and on Mi Gente on Air. So please help me welcome into the room Champ Garcia when we go into the show and we talk about Latino concerns, contributions, and culture. Mi Gente on Air is now in its fourth year, believe it or not, and we're ready to give the community more information about Latinos and Latino happenings in the Great Lakes Bay region. So please join me on Mi Gente on Air.
Welcome to Mi Gente on Air on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com. Now, here is your host, Larry Rodarte.
Good evening. Welcome to another edition of Mi Gente on Air. I am your host, Larry Rodarte, and we're here in the Alpha Media Studios at WSGW, and we're bringing it live on the Facebook social media channels. I hope you're all tuning in for a great show tonight as we talk about music in the Great Lakes Bay region, the Tejano genre, as well as a special family in our area, the Garcia family, who has a great legacy with their musical contributions to Tejano and Conjunto. And my guest tonight is the legendary, I'll say legendary in our community, right? He's been playing a long time, but he's still a young man. And his name is Isaac Champ Garcia. Please help me welcome to the room, Champ.
Hey, what's up, Larry?
How you doing, man?
All right, man, doing good.
Well, we are coming off a really great show. This Valentine's dance this last Saturday, this weekend, was incredible. We had a sold out show.
Yes,
we had to go get 70 more chairs and more tables because the hall was just filling up, and it was really a special time because everybody was in a great feel good mood. And I have to say, besides the great food we had there and the great crowd, it was the music that was being played and how everybody was just in a dancing mood. How do you feel about that Valentine's dance, Champ Garcia?
Oh, man, from pulling into the driveway, me and my wife, you know what? It was cars, nowhere to park. And so, doing all the hype before the dance, the promos on my social media platforms, and just pulling in there, the community came out to support. You know what? And we got out. It was almost 10 minutes to showtime, and we walk in, and I have my accordions, and just the love, like you said, right at the door. I mean, the way they had the hall set up, beautiful. Decorations were just really beautiful.
Shout out to the Civica All-Stars, especially the ladies who did a wonderful job leading up to the dance. I want to tell my listeners, the dance almost didn't happen because, when we had that vortex that happened a few weeks ago, I think in mid-January, that vortex weather, I should say, it got below 0 degrees, and it really affected the hall, which is built in 1960. So it was really detrimental to our pipes, and we had to make sure that we were ready to have all the bathrooms working and all the faucets, and it took some time. And and we were able to do it, thank God, because we were thinking, well, we're going to cancel this Valentine's dance and we'll move on to the
Mhm.
St. Patty's Day dance. But thank God we kept it going. We were able to get it done. We pulled together as an organization. We had members coming through the woodworks and making sure that we were ready. So
Right.
that's why we were able to do what we did. And Los Genotes and Conjunto Champs were the bands playing. But I want my listeners, those that may be listening to radio on Sunday evening at 8 p.m., Mi Gente on Air, they may not know you, Champ. So please tell me a little bit about who you are and the family that you come from here in
Okay.
Saginaw.
All right. Well, I come from three generations of accordion players. Starting with my grandfather Jose Garcia, who passed away. And then it went from my grandfather showing my father Isaac Garcia, well-known accordionist around the Midwest, and he got to showing me the accordion. Man, I want to say around 9 years old. I would watch him and my uncles be rehearsing, and the conjunto music, Tejano music, was always around us. Even my grandfather's band. And then I had on my mom's side my grandfather Ernesto Garza, so he had his own conjunto. And see, my grandfathers, they played at the Civica, the Union Civica Mexicana, man, years, tardeadas, dances, and so it was just given to me, actually, the talent. And I seen my dad one time. He put the accordion on me. I want to say 9 years old at the house, and I remember he says, "Hey man, move your fingers like this on the baseboard there." And so I did, and he tells my mom, Mary, he says, Mary, he's gonna be the accordion player. So it went from there, and it's in the blood, man. I get a little emotional because, music to me and my family, it's played from our heart. It is. It truly is played from our heart. And we fill dance halls all over the United States. And the people that dance to our music, the compliments we get, it's just, I mean, you get goosebumps up there. It's just an unbelievable feeling. So that's where I started loving Tejano Conjunto music as a kid. I was all the new tapes would come out. What is it? The Texas Latin American records that Luis Flores used to have downtown, and I was always there, man. After I would get them playing, the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at 13 years old,
Wow.
you know, and so I would go to school and get home from playing and get on the bus, go to school all week, and couldn't wait to hit the stage again. And so yeah, my family, I was born into it, and I'm blessed with the talent from God. So I give God all the honor and glory because He's the one that gave us the talent to share with the people.
Well,
Yeah.
I think that there really is, when you have a musical family,
Hmm.
you guys are so blessed to have the generations of musicians that you do, from your grandfather, your father, to yourself,
Hmm.
probably your son. I know
Yes,
you've got several sons.
two of them.
Yeah, and
They're
they're
picking it
probably
up.
going to pick it up.
Yep.
And that has just been a huge blessing to
Hmm.
our Great Lakes Bay community. Those of us that love the Tejano and the conjunto
Hmm.
music. I mean, we're talking generations going back. When
Hmm.
he mentions his grandfathers playing at the Civica, Neto Garza and his grandfather Jose Garcia. I mean, we're talking way back when probably the Civica was just being built in the
Hmm.
'60s, afterwards and on '70s and the '80s, and so this is really a legacy that we're talking about here with this family. And Champ has really taken it to different heights because he has played locally, but he's also played with a big name star out in Texas, Jay Perez. Many of us know that. And music that is being produced even today, that is being played, Champ is contributing from the Midwest to the Texas Tejano scene. So it's really a blessing. It's a blessing not only to us but to their family, and it's just been really beautiful. Tell us about Champ, Conjunto Champs, the actual band that you currently have right now.
Oh, Conjunto Champs was created. I've always wanted, when I was young, I played with a lot of bands, and I've always wanted my own band. And I was given the name Champ when I was before my mom's stomach, and before I was born. And so it was, they tell me the story of my parents. Well, I always wanted my band, Tejano Champs or Conjunto Champs. And it came and it hit Conjunto because Conjunto music to me is different. It's totally different than Tejano. Conjunto music is more, it's more heartful music. I stomping boots, hats, and having a good time. And the accordion, the box, it gives us this feeling. So I created Conjunto Champs, and me and my uncles, my uncle David Garcia, me, my brother Isaiah Garcia, uh, the late Rolando Lopez on drums, and it stayed. We already been together. Let me see, about 10 years. It's going on 10 years. So about 8 to 10 years, I want to say. And I mean, it's been. I mean, we were busy, 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 man. I enjoyed the time off actually, because I mean, in the first 5 years, we were every weekend, guys, all over the Midwest, back and forth to San Antonio, Houston, San Antonio, Chicago, Toledo, Indiana, Detroit, just locally quinceañeras, private events, things like that. So I was enjoying the break, So we just started coming. I just started getting back out, and now everything has changed a lot with digital platforms. That's what I'm working on right now to release music. So that'll be coming here within a month of all my recordings. I'm getting them out there. But on the chance, we got a welcome, invited to play the Valentine's Dance 2024.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
the promotions for that, let me tell you.
Now listen,
Yes, sir.
I do have to stop you there
Yeah.
because I want to make sure when he talks about the Valentine's dance, we're talking about the dance that just happened at the
Yes.
Union Civica Mexicana. Were you surprised that you were invited?
Yes, it was. When I got that message, I was like, wow, because it's been a while, Larry. And I got flyers from back, me and you, we go back a long ways with my mother, Mary, and dances. I look back of memories, they pop up, the Queen dance, the Adelante Awards I played for you before. So this Valentine dance for 2024, it was something big. And I said, you know what? I gave the okay with the All Stars and Civica All Stars, and it went from there. You know what? And it was time to promote, and to pull into a sold out event. That's the public came out and supported. Always support your local dances, your local artists, and La Union Civica Mexicana. They've been around. It's established in
for almost 80 years.
80 years, you
Next
guys.
year, 80 years. Can you believe that?
We're all we got. Let me tell you.
Well, I want to bring up the fact that your father, Isaac Garcia.
Yeah.
I remember back in the 90s when I went out and did a photo shoot with the band Tequila, I think it was.
Yeah.
Was it? I don't know if Isaac's listening. Tecate, yeah, Tequila. What am I saying? Tecate, and it was in Old Town Saginaw, and we were there. I think we were doing some pictures because we were doing the Tejano Showcase, and it was 1997. And I remember the group of individual musicians that were involved with that, but your father stood out to me because I had known him, and how old were you then?
Man, that's when the Tecate band to me was like for the Midwest was the David Lee Garza and Los Musicales to me.
Yeah.
So I mean, I would go with these guys, be their light man, their roadie, on the road, and the new music would drop. I would be practicing it at home if I wasn't on the road with them,
Well, what a legacy that is, to be able to experience that, champ. You're probably one of the very few people in the music industry in Michigan today that have that experience. And I know there's others that are in bands today, but
yes.
I want to play one of your songs. I had the fortune to listen live here in the studios as Conjunto Champs came in and they did a live recording, and we want to play the second song that they play today here at WSGW Studios so that you can get a taste of who Conjunto Champs actually is here in the community. So for those of you who have never heard Tejano Conjunto music, this is what we're talking about here today. Go ahead, Matt.
Necesitado encuentro, Señor, ayúdame hoy, yo quiero saber lo que debo hacer. Muestra el camino que debo seguir. Señor, por mi bien, yo quiero vivir un día a la vez.
So that's what we're talking about. And I wanted to introduce that to my audience that may not be familiar with Tejano Conjunto. That was the unplugged version that they did here in the studios earlier today. And it's been a real pleasure to hear this happening in our community. And I want to give Champ the ability to talk about somebody else who's part of that whole legacy of the Garcia family, and that is his grandmother, Mary Garcia, who just passed away this week, who was married to his grandfather. And they had, how long were they married, Champ?
Oh man, I want to say 68.
68 years. Wow.
68 years.
That's a long marriage, and it has produced 9 children,
Mm-hmm.
9 children, and umpteen grandchildren.
41, I think.
41 grandchildren. Latino families are big. We know this.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just been, I know, really hard on the whole family, because when you lose your matriarch of the family, it's devastating.
Mm-hmm.
But the legacy that she has left within herself to give us her son, her grandson, these musicians, these incredible musicians that we are celebrating here tonight, and the whole Garcia family, is really a blessing. And like I talked about, the blessing of the community. And so this family is going through a hard time right now. And so Champ and Conjunto Champs came in also, and they performed a song. Matt, I want you to play the number one song they recorded today. And this is dedicated to his grandmother, Mary Garcia.
Mm-hmm.
Dejando mi alma herida y un corazón a sufrir. Te vas y me dejas un inmenso dolor.
Play that in the background as I talk. Champ, tell me a little bit about your grandmother.
Man, my grandmother was one of a kind woman, strong woman, the queen of our family. Since I was a kid, she would be in the kitchen. My grandfather would be getting ready to go play. She's cooking, making tortillas.
Mhm.
My grandfather's at the table with his sons or his compadres. To be in the kitchen and loved her boys, loved her husband, loved her daughters, her family, her friends. She was that woman, that strong woman, the queen. Always one thing about my grandma was I got older and I would see her as a kid give bendiciones to my grandfather when he would go take off to go play on the road, and my dad and my uncles. And then as I got older and started performing and have to leave, and sometimes I'll be there, my cowboy hat and accordions, getting ready to go play or something, and she would take me to the room and she would give me bendiciones, to cover me with blessing to be on the road,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
she was the queen of our family, and she's gonna be dearly missed, but we know she's in heaven with my grandfather Joe, and they're back together as one, so she's one of a kind woman. My grandma's a big hearted woman, loved to dance, loved her sons, her husband, her grandsons playing the music. She loved the music. She would be the one to motivate you to, hey, I love, compliment you. Oh, Mio, you're doing such a good job. Or my friends are telling me you're jamming out there, and this and that. So always kept us motivated into the music too.
Well, sometimes the matriarch, when it comes to a musical family that's dominated by men, sometimes they don't always get the credit that they deserve of actually being the support, the backbone. And it sounds like that's who she was.
She was.
And from what I known of that beautiful couple for so many years, so long, in Bay City, the family, it's a very loving family that produced some great musicians in our community that we are all benefiting from. And so that's kind of like the theme of the show tonight. And we give honor and dedication to Senora Garcia, Mary Garcia, who passed away this week. And our condolences on behalf of Mi Gente on Air and the community at large. So
thank you, guys.
As we talk about music and all, and this Garcia legacy, I want to bring up the idea, about your parents. They have also been a big influence on your musical career. They're pastors, Pastor Mary and Isaac Garcia. You guys got hit really hard during the COVID pandemic, with your father and all.
Yes.
And it's really a miracle that he's alive. But I think that is testament to who your mother is, the strong woman that she is, and the faith that she is putting out there in the community. And I always tell her, and she's a great friend of mine, I always tell her, man, Mary, you've got to do that testimony of your music, that musical the music your father plays for her. And your mother is a wonderful singer.
Yes, she is.
I knew she was a wonderful singer way before you were even born.
Yeah.
His mother, Mary Garza, daughter of Neto and Pauline Garza, when we were in the 7th grade at Bridgeport Junior High School, I think it's 7th or 8th grade, there was a show produced. It was called The Bong Show, and it kind of played off of The Gong Show, if any of you remember, on television. And Mary and I decided we were going to be in The Bong Show, it was called, and it was like an assembly of our classes, the 7th, 8th, and 9th graders at the new junior high. And we sang Heaven Knows by Donna Summer and Brooklyn Dreams. And Mary, of course, was Donna Summer, and I was Brooklyn Dreams singer. And we won first place. So it was really awesome to see. So whenever I hear Champ's mother, Mary Garza Garcia, and she's coming down the parade route of Cinco de Mayo, and they have their little float that they also play on. I hear that voice, and it just takes me back to when we were children. Basically, we were in the 7th grade. We were children, and it touches my heart. And so I always feel, when I hear her ministry where she's singing, gospel songs or what have you, I say, Mary, man, that's really what touches the people's hearts. Sing some more, as she gives great sermons on Sundays, and follows in the footsteps of her father, Neto Garza, as well. So what do you have to say about all that?
My mother, since before I played music, her voice, I don't know, it's just the way my wife sings to my sons, and he's 10 months, and it's you'll never ever, that voice will stay with you forever, I believe. Because I'm a grown man, but my mom's here, playing worship in the church with my mom and dad. Me and my wife are on the worship team, and hearing her voice, it's like, man, it used to put me to sleep. So I get that love still as her son. I mean, it's always there. And so it's like, it's beautiful. And at times I cry just hearing her voice. I remember when she was young, and my grandfather Neto took us to Cedar Point, big trips we would take in the summer, and back then they would have a studio. So you can go in there and sing. And she was young. My mama was young. And she sang Whitney Houston. And they record you. And on the way to give you the tape, the tape. And we're on the way back driving. And we're listening to that tape. And I think I kept that tape because her voice is just one of a kind. And it's beautiful.
Yeah, it truly is.
Voice.
And believe it or not, I think I have a recording of your mother. I think we were about in the 7th or 8th grade, and she's singing some gospel songs, and I'm gonna have to find those and play that for you, give them to you, because
she has a beautiful voice.
That was a long time. We're talking about in the late 70s. So well, that and it's something that you were so blessed, Champ, to be able to come from the Garcia family and the Garza family, and it's no wonder that we have you as the musician that you are today, as well as your brothers, because they are also gifted as well, Isaiah. And it's just nice to see that through the generations, this has trickled down and produced, some great music, and we're still hearing it today. And not only us, but in Texas too. So I want to, when we come out of commercial, we're going to talk more about Champ Garcia, his career, and what he did with La Voz, Jay Perez in Texas as well a few years back, and what he's doing today. So please don't go anywhere and join me here on Mi Gente on Air.
This is Mi Gente on Air on WSGW.
So there you have it. You hear Champ giving shout outs on Facebook Live to his friends and family. And, it's really important that we address the idea that this show, Mi Gente on Air, is able to, really focus on the Latino community of the Great Lakes Bay region. We're talking about the contributions, and boy, does this family, have they ever contributed. So if you've got questions, you've got concerns, you want to put it in the chat room, please do, because it's your show, Mi Gente, my people on air. And this is a platform where we are at the table, where we can give voice to the different stories that have played out in our community. So I'm so happy to have Champ here in the room tonight. I've known him since he was before he was born, and as a little boy. And I think we've got some pictures there, don't we, Matt, of I'm talking to my producer, of Champ when he's holding an accordion and he's very young. Tell us how old you are in the picture there, Champ.
Oh man, let's see. I was about 8 years old.
8 years old. That is you, right?
This
Not
is
your brother.
No, that is me, Champ. This is when I told you earlier. My dad put the accordion on me. And you see, if you can see my fingers are right there. He says, "Hey, I want you to move your fingers like this." So I did that, and my mom's, I think she took a picture or something, and he tells my mom he's the accordion player. So,
wow, a star is born,
yeah,
huh?
I was there right there.
Yeah, and it's a blessing you have those pictures. I think there's another one too when he's very young. I want to make sure the audience sees that as well, like father, like son. There, go ahead, show that one. And then there's this one here. This is Isaac Garcia, the father on the left, and then Champ Isaac Garcia Jr. Are you a junior?
No,
You're the third.
Yeah.
And this is him on the right, very young. How old are you there?
Now that I'm around, I want to say 13.
13.
And that actually was in Bay City, Michigan, and I was playing with my grandpa Ernesto Garza's conjunto band. Yeah.
Wow. So
he would call me up and do polkas for the people, his friends, and they would be shocked. And, "Oh, Mio, you're doing so good. You keep it up." You know what? And I kept it up.
Wow.
And I'm really thankful, because compliments, it moves you in a different way, And like I said before, you get goosebumps, and it's just, I'm so thankful that I'm blessed, and I'm really thankful.
Yeah. And show that last one that you had up there. How old were you there? Is that your son?
Now, this is my son, Josiah.
Josiah.
Now, he loves the accordion. So just the way my father seen it in me, I see it in him. So I put the accordion on him. Since he's a little baby, he moves his head, he taps his feet, and now he's interested in grabbing my accordion and messing, playing around. And I don't really have to show him much, because he puts his hands where they need to be on the other side of the accordion, and he moves the fingers on the buttons here. And he's learning, them are just basic things you have to learn, and he's picking it up on his own.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And that's how you did it, right?
And that's how I did it.
Wow.
And I had a picture of my oldest son, and he plays accordion.
Oh.
Yeah. Isaac the third, he plays accordion.
And that's your grandfather Neto,
now,
right?
That is my grandfather Ernesto Garza. And he's from San Antonio, Texas, a great accordionist, guitarist, and he was a pastor. And my grandfather, he brings the sounds of San Antonio accordionists, and he gave it to me. And I would sit with him out at his ranch, out his house over there in Spalding Township, and he would show me all these beautiful chords. And I know they're from San Antonio, because I know great accordionists, friends of mine from Texas, and I'm just humble and thankful that my grandfather got to give me them that style of accordion playing.
That
Yeah,
gift, that
the
gift.
gift. Yeah.
All right, so listen, we want to go back into the show that was on the live feed, and we're just really being blessed here to learn about this information about this local musician here, Champ Garcia. And so I know many of you know Champ out there in the community, and we don't always get to hear the musician's story, and tonight that's what we're trying to do. So if you got a question, like I said, join the chat room and give it to us, and we'll try to read it on part of the show. So we're going back into Mi Gente on Air.
You're listening to Mi Gente on Air on WSGW.
Welcome back. Welcome back, Mi Gente. Thank you for tuning in to Mi Gente on Air. I am your host, Larry Rodarte, and we're here in the Alpha Media Studios tonight, and I've got Champ Garcia, the musician, the lead singer, the accordion player of Conjunto Champs, his band. And I just want to mention to Champ that we want to make sure everybody knows who the members are of Conjunto Champs as well. Can you give us their names? I don't know do we have any pictures of the actual band? Well, that's some of them there at the bottom.
Now that is it'd be Gary Lopez Sr., and he plays bass in my backup vocals.
Mhm.
And then his son, Gary Lopez Jr. on drums, backup vocals. And then Frank Lopez, he plays guitar, electric guitar, and bajo sexto.
And they're all related, right?
And Gary and little Gary, their father and son.
Yes.
And then Frank, he's just a family friend with the same last name.
Same last name.
Yep.
Okay.
And Frank Lopez actually has been playing since he was 14 years old with my dad Isaac, my uncle Chocolate, my uncle David, and my grandpa Joe Garcia. Their first conjunto, he was middle school buddies, elementary buddies with my uncles and my dad. So he started at 14 years old with my grandfather, Jose Garcia.
Wow.
And so, then he's now playing with third generation me.
Well, that's a whole nother story.
Yes,
maybe we can have another show of Mi Gente on Air with the Lopez brothers as well.
Oh,
so, yeah. That's
a lot of talent in Saginaw.
Yeah. And what is your feedback with that, in terms of, when we have Tejano, some of the Tejano superstars that have come for Cinco de Mayo, like Stephanie Montiel and Eddie Gonzalez and Michael Salgado, they always talk to us about the Midwest talent, and they recognize it, that there really is great musicians coming from the state of Michigan. Tell me about that.
I could tell you that Saginaw, great musicians. Lansing, Michigan, great musicians. Toledo, Ohio, great musicians. Grand Rapids, you name it. There's great talent in Michigan. And you know what? Back in the day, it was so hard to get recognized in Texas as being a Midwest musician. And I want to say 2009, the doors started changing and opening up. And I know we're going to get to that segment here in a little bit. And I'll get more on that topic of all Midwest musicians recording something great that just got recorded, and there's a lot of families and talents. The Herrera family, my compadres, they play with La Cooperación, Tejano Sound Band, Grupo Deseo, Ivan and Fuego from Toledo. These guys, these are top-notch musicians, and we've been around from back in the day, from Sangre Nueva days to Tecate days, Rebelde. There's a lot of musicians. Marty Garza, he recorded out in San Antonio. Grupo Aldaco, they've been around for years.
Yeah.
So they're the Midwest showcase of talent. It's here.
Yeah,
it ain't going nowhere.
And a lot of that, for my listeners that are non-Hispanic, a lot of that is because so many of these families came in the wave from Texas to Michigan to work the fields, the migrant fields, and then they stayed. Their family stayed because they found employment either at the gray iron plants or somewhere else. And so they had those that had musicians in their families. They were the ones that, really built and became that musical sector of our communities. And so it's, really a blessing that we have such good talent. And like I said, some of the great Tejano artists that come to our state of Michigan for Cinco de Mayo or other events, they talk about that. They talk about the great musicians, and sometimes they tap into that, and they
Yes.
actually get, a drummer or,
Hmm.
a guitar player or whatever, or a keyboard player to actually perform with their bands. And I know that's one of the things, Champ, that you were recruited by the great Jay Perez and
Hmm.
his band. Tell us a little bit about that experience.
Man, I was in Dallas, Texas in like 2009 and 2010 there. My buddy Aaron Holler, great drummer. Now he's a producer. Um, he called me up, hey champ, man, you got your boxes? And I says, yeah, and he says, well, Jay Pettis wants to audition you right now at the West in Dallas. So I drove over there within a half hour, and not even 5 minutes into the song, Jake, I'm starstruck like Jay Pettis, and he's at the door of the entrance of the hall, and he goes up to one of the keyboard, Mario Ortiz, a great keyboardist. He's the musical director, was the musical director of Jay Pettis. He whispers in his ear, and then he goes back to the tour bus, and they just stopped and they says, hey champ, you got the gig, dude, you're the accordion player for Jay Pettis. I was like, what, man? I was calling home, and I was
Wow.
just so excited. So I got to jam with Jay Pettis for a great tour, Arizona to California, New Mexico, Florida, all over the state of Texas. And recently, I was given the opportunity to record on the his latest album, which just hit album of the year with the Tejano Mundo Awards in San Antonio.
Yep.
And I recorded, and it was from Freddie Records. It was nominated for Latin Grammy this 2023, the end of the year, Latin Grammys. And we didn't get it, but hey, it was hard work. And this CD was produced by Rolando Revilla from Grupo Motivo. We had Ruben Herrera from Motivo too. He used to play drums with La Cooperación Midwest, and we had Elias Solis, guitar player from the Midwest. Jonathan McGraw, which is the musical director of Jay Perez. He's from the Detroit. Champ Garcia, me, myself from Saginaw, Michigan. And this CD, this album that hit number one and it was nominated Latin Grammy was besides two musicians, great Fabian out of San Antonio. It was produced by all the Midwest musicians. And it was nominated for Latin Grammy, and we just won the album of the year. So I'm very honored, to be a part of that project.
Yeah.
I got to record on it and everything, so it's just beautiful.
That's really huge, and that's going to be definitely something that we look into to tell that story, maybe in Mi Gente magazine in an upcoming issue, because that's incredible. That he tapped into the Midwest musicianship to produce and bring forth this album, and then it was nominated for a Latin Grammy as well as the Tejano Mundo Award. So that's really awesome. They won, right?
We won the album
Award.
of the year, of the year 2024. That was just last week, I want to say. So it's fresh, right fresh, all over all over social media. So
yeah, I think it was
honored.
actually this last weekend that went by.
Yeah, I believe it was maybe the same time we had the dance.
Yes, it was because Stephanie and Gabriel Zavala also won two awards.
Won two. Yep, you're right.
Yeah, so that's really awesome to hear and see that. Speaking of Tejano and what we have planned here in the Saginaw region, I just want to bring this up. Elida and Ivante, Elida Reina and Ivante, she is like one of the premier artists, Tejano royalty. She's coming for May 4th to the Saginaw area for the annual Cinco de Mayo, the 45th annual Cinco de Mayo. She will be performing at the Fiesta at the Jolt Credit Union Event Park, and she will be hopefully in the parade as well. And she's going to be performing at the Vault in the evening for a dance. And tickets are going to be going on sale for that event this Friday. So make sure you get your tickets early because I'm pretty sure it's going to be a sold out event. So Elida Reina, I mean, she has just been around and given us some really beautiful songs, Duele, as well as Lágrimas de Amor, Luna Llena from way back in 1994. I mean, this is really the top notch in terms of Tejano music. And sometimes, female singers don't always get the respect that they deserve, in the genre that has been led by so many great musicians, men. So, I am a real proponent of, pushing that a female voice as well, Stephanie Montil, as well as Elida Reina. They've been favorites. It has been since 2010 that Elida Reina was in the Saginaw area, believe it or not. So it's been 15 years, and it's way overdue. And I'm so happy that she's going to be a part of the 45th annual Cinco de Mayo. So get ready, Saginaw, because that's going to be very exciting. Like I said, tickets on sale for the Vault Dance this Friday, and you can get them at TNT Authentic Mexican Restaurant as well as Vargas Tortillas. So what do you think about that, champ, and Cinco de Mayo?
Man. Cinco de Mayo this year, guys, get your tickets because that's going to be a sold out event. And we all know the Vault holds a lot of people. And Elida, the Queen, La Reina, she's coming. I seen her in, I've always jammed, either warmed up in Texas or been at her shows. And she's got a great production she brings. And let me see, my boy Matt Maya is, he works with them and their whole crew, the Elida crew, their team. I seen her in Vegas, Larry. Man, she got a heck of a show. I'm telling you right now, man.
And I want to ask you though, from your perspective, Champ Garcia, musician, how do you feel about the Cinco de Mayo of Saginaw? I mean, when you look at and you compare our festival to others, how do you feel about it?
I mean, to be honest with you, Larry, I've been and played at big festivals of Cinco de Mayo, and you guys do an awesome job. It's big, and it's every year it seems to even outdo last year, the year before, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And man, everybody's supporting now. All these food trucks are all on the market. They're there. I remember way back a couple food trucks and then lowriders.
Yeah.
At the island, and then we got the Jolt Credit Union across. The event park there across from the Dow, and now it's just the whole atmosphere's changed. And we're getting sunnier days. You remember we used to get all the rainstorm before,
Yeah,
and now it's just beautiful sun.
Don't jinx us.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. We got to speak that sun's going to be out this year, and it's going to be like the last year. So you guys are doing a wonderful job, man. It's everybody, the Pacifica All-Stars. You guys got a great team. The lineup of everybody getting floats to participating, to all the kids out on Washington and I took a break from being in the parade because I usually do with my parents in the church or Conjunto Champs. We have a float, but me and my kids and my wife, we got to just sit downtown when you guys come from Washington and Genesee. Everybody participating in the parade and throwing candy, and I just was taking pictures. Man, it's beautiful.
What an atmosphere that was too this last year.
It was
incredible because you had all walks. It wasn't just Latinos or Hispanics out there. The whole community was out there and just enjoying the beautiful sun as well as what the entertainment that was being provided by the actual parade in itself, from the Saginaw High Band to all the different floats and everything else. And so, we can't say enough about that. And I think that the Garcia family has been a big part of that through the years. Your mother has given the blessing as a pastor. And then, like I say, she comes down on her float singing her voice. I always know when Mary's coming. I can hear it from miles away. But, I'm looking forward to Elida Reina because this has been in the works for a number of years as we bring in the top tier Tejano artists to our area. And it's wonderful to know that the Cinco de Mayo is really it's a really big economic powerhouse because, like Champ had mentioned about the food trucks, that's with all these food trucks are selling out when they come to our Cinco de Mayo. We probably have one of the largest, if not the largest, event in downtown Saginaw with the annual Cinco de Mayo at the Jolt Credit Union Event Park. I know that because I know the numbers that are coming in, and the crowds have been amazing, especially right after COVID. It was amazing because everybody wanted to get out, and so there was lines going all the way past the Temple Theater from the Jolt Credit Union and beyond. And so it's really wonderful, and I hope that the community at large will come out again and support that every year, because this is truly Saginaw's Cinco de Mayo celebration that has been going on for 45 years. Wow. And the Unión Cívica Mexicana is presenting that. And I remember in the days when the ladies, Maria Vela and Lola Aguilar and Angelito Gonzalez, they were the ones heading up the annual Cinco de Mayo. I don't know how they did it, those ladies, because I mean, it's truly, it's a piece of art. And I say that because as the chairman, the last couple of years, there's so much to juggle, and from the music to the food to just how much we're going to charge, and we are charging $5 at the door because we need to be able to make sure that we're able to pay for these artists that are coming
Yeah.
from Texas. They are the attraction. They're the ones that bring so many people
Yep.
to downtown Saginaw. So, I mean, of course, people are coming for the Cinco de Mayo in itself as well. But, you know, when we have a big name artist like that, everybody wins.
Oh
So, you
yes.
know, it's
Yeah.
wonderful to, I'm glad that you're a proponent of the Cinco de Mayo. You
Mhm.
have grown up with it.
Yes, I
You,
played many
I don't even
times.
think you're 45 years old yet,
No,
are you?
I'm
It's been
42
around.
years old.
Yeah, yeah.
42.
I remember the
So,
very
yeah.
first one in 1980. Your mom was out there too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so let's talk about we've only got 10 more minutes in the show. This went really fast.
Mhm.
Let's talk about what's next for Conjunto Champs and Champ Garcia.
Well, right now, like I was mentioning, everything's changing up now with digital platforms. So I'm in the works this week actually of getting all my music on all platforms, Apple Music, Amazon,
Spotify.
Spotify, everything now. So it's in the change up now. I got so many recordings with my buddies, Gary, the members of the band, Gary Lopez and Lil Gary and Frank and brothers. I got good recordings that we recorded, and you guys probably hear them on Midwest Tejano Radio, and so throughout the radio stations and stuff. And so I want to. That's the chapter I'm going to right now, and is to get this music released now. And because it's good to sit home and record it, but I want everybody to hear it. And as an artist, you work hard. Sometimes I want to take time off and be with my family and my kids and my wife, and the road gets tiring. So everything's changed up to where you can record at home now and send the
Wow.
files to Texas. And like I recorded here in Toledo for the Jay Pettis album. I didn't even have to fly down to record. I was just take an hour and a half drive and record and get back home. But so that's what I'm working right now, is more of the recording. And I got some contracts for this coming up spring and summer. I just did the dance for you guys, and it was sold out event, successful. So I'm not striving to be every weekend. It gets tiring again, but I love my music. I love playing for my city. I love playing for the Gente. So hey, until the next time you see me on stage, hey, I'll be recording or doing something with my box.
Yeah. Well, how did that feel? I'm seriously asking you. You know, you performed Saturday at the Unión Cívica Mexicana.
Mm-hmm.
There was a huge crowd of people dancing to your music, to the music of
Mhm.
those G notes as
Mhm.
well. You guys kept people on the floor
Yes.
throughout the whole night. You, as a lead singer of the band, how does that make you feel? Because I'm up there recording you, and I see the expressions on your face.
Yes.
How does that make you feel internally to witness that? As nobody else is witnessing what you're witnessing as that lead singer.
When you start the songs, I mean, when you rehearse the songs, prior to what people don't see is this music's being sent out to my musicians, and we're getting the set of the timing, how much 45-minute sets we're doing, to getting this music ready and prepared for you people, the people that are coming to support the local dances here in Saginaw or all over, to support Tejano music, Conjunto music. It's our culture. And without you, I mean, we're not playing for nobody. So the thing is when, like Larry said, your feelings of getting on, you want to go have a good time with your wife or your comadres, compadres, and you get to that dance and that accordion, we start playing and singing. You guys start coming out to the dance floor, the lights and the fog, and you guys are just smiling. And I'm seeing this from the stage. Man, it just gives you a beautiful feeling inside my soul, as musicians, our souls, because we're just so happy that you're happy. And so we all leave happy, you know what? And we can't wait to the next Violet at the Pacifica, right, Larry?
Yeah, yeah. And I always say that the work that some of us do at the Civica and on,
Yeah.
I mean, it is work. But when we actually throw a dance and I'm out there, and you've seen me,
Yeah.
I'm recording the band, I'm
Yeah.
recording the people, and I'm
Yes.
in the midst of the crowd
Capturing.
dancing myself.
Mhm.
And I see the smiles, like you said, the smiles and the outfits and even the footwork of some of the
Yes. Yeah,
people.
beautiful
It's just
dancers.
it just brings joy, like
Yes.
Champ says, the joy to the soul.
Mhm.
And it's a wonderful feeling to know that we as a community are celebrating that love of our culture and our heritage, our music, our food. Because now, as I have said to many, now is our time. I think that the music in itself and
Mhm.
the food the food is so popular right now across the board.
Yeah.
You see all these taco festivals, and that's led up truly by the Mexican culinary experts in our communities from Pontiac, Detroit, Saginaw,
Uh-huh.
Lansing. And I think it's that, of course, and you've got to have the music.
Yeah.
It's what's really uplifting our heritage and culture for the greater communities, and we are a part of it, and they know that we are a part of it, and they love it as well. They love the food and the music. So I mean, it's really wonderful. There were a lot to me this last Saturday at the Valentine's Day. There was a lot of non-Hispanics there as well,
Yes.
believe it or not. And
Having a good time.
yeah, and sometimes that's not always the case, but it was wonderful to see them out on the dance floor dancing in the round like we do as Mexicanos, to follow everybody else in front of them, and it just was a wonderful event.
I seen that group of people you're talking about. You know what? Before my show started, me and my wife went around. I had ordered some bracelets for for the people. It's love, so I want to bring love to your neighbor. Love your neighbor. So we hand out all these bracelets to everybody and just get to mingle and talk with them. Oh man, champ, I'm glad you're playing, or I ain't seen you in a while. That's what bringing people together. The music, and let me tell you something about you guys' food. It was, man. The food was awesome at the Civica. My wife ordered a dinner, and the people we gave the bracelets to, they were just the group you were talking about a minute ago. You know what? They were having a great time. They didn't know what we were speaking or nothing, but they were on the dance floor moving.
Yes, they did. Yes, they were.
So,
and I was wearing that bracelet all night long, and I looked down at it and I saw what it was and the message you were trying to convey as well. So I mean, that's part of what we always give thanks to God.
Yes.
With your parents as pastors, Mary, she always keeps me in check. By her posts.
Right.
She doesn't necessarily point fingers or anything else, but by her posts, she she really makes an impact on a lot of people. And so thanks to her as well as your dad. Thank you to them for giving us a great musician by the name of Isaac Champ Garcia. Because you've done wonders through the years. I mean, we're talking, how many years would you say now you've been playing for the community?
Me and my wife just did this because I'm looking into being endorsed from Horner Accordions. And so bringing, accordions over here to Midwest. I go to festivals. So it's got to be around, I want to say 30 years, 32 years. Wow. Oh, no, yeah, because I started professionally at 13. And I started messing around with accordion at 9 years old. So it was like, man,
wow,
it's been a long time.
Yeah.
A lot of miles on the road, and hours.
So you kind of like started in the heyday of Tejano, actually, in the early 90s.
Yes. When you guys were bringing big bands, man, the Emilio Navarra days, the Tropa F, the Diferencia.
Oh, you remember that, huh?
You used to have that TV show. What was it? I think
Canta Conmigo.
Yes, Canta Conmigo. Yes. I would go out there with the what's his name? Cardenas guy. Andrew, and across from the hospital. So I'm that kid, man, to be with La Sombra or right at the stage, when I was younger. So it's given.
Yeah.
Blessed.
Yeah.
Thankful.
I remember you with your long mullet as well. No. But listen, I want to give one more song to the community to hear, one that they recorded here in the studios tonight. It's the last song. And tell us, we're going to play it at first, and then you bring it down a little bit. And Champ, you tell us about the music. Go ahead.
I want to just make a quick dedication to all my family that I see it. Martinez family, the Black Diamonds, the Values, Santoyas. Love you, and also my grandmother Mary. Got to see her. We are gonna miss her dearly. We know she's in a better place now. Well, Grandpa Joe. So yeah, we're gonna dedicate this song to her. Puño de Tierra. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, that is the sounds of Conjunto Champs. They were here in the studio recording, and we're going to end the show here tonight with that. But we're going to go into the live stream playing that song so the Champ can give us a little bit of information about that song. But thank you for joining me here tonight, as always, with Mi Gente on Air. We'll see you next week. Adios.
Y a mí no me falta nada.
Well, we're here in the live stream. Thank you, everybody who showed up. It was a wonderful show giving tribute to Mary Garcia, Senora Mary Garcia, and the legacy of her family, as well as remembering Joe Garcia and Neto Garza and those grandfathers that Champ stands on the shoulders of. And I'm going to let Champ have the last word tonight. Talk about this music and, what he's feeling tonight.
Well, love you guys all, man. Thank you for your support, supporting my band, me, all the years I've been playing. I'm still playing, and you guys are supporting, and I love you guys. It's a hard time right now, losing our grandmother, Mary Garcia. Me coming from a musical family, both my grandfathers who played accordion, they're no longer with me and us, and both my grandmothers are now. So my grandparents are all in heaven, and they're our angels now. So I want you guys to love on each other, love on your family. The family is all we have. Your friends, always love each other, no matter what. You know, we're not promised tomorrow, so you guys just always take that into consideration. To call, to visit. You don't know how much that'll mean to another person that could be lonely or not. That needs the love. Just love on everybody. And because that's one thing I always do. I love on everybody, man. Haters, no matter what, you kind of, you just gotta love on everybody. Like I said, man, we're going through a hard time right now. My grandmother, and this song "Puno de Tierra" just says it all, and want to thank my musicians Gary and Frank for coming out and helping me out here. I want to thank Larry Rodarte and everybody here at the studio for having me today. All my followers, everybody, continue to be on the lookout for Conjunto Champs releasing some new music and stuff. So I appreciate you guys.
All right.
I really do.
All right. Nicely said. Nicely said. Thank you for being with us, Champ, tonight. It's been an honor to give this legacy the due respect that it is. And again, dedicated to Senora Mary Garcia. And we thank you for being with us here on Mi Gente on Air. Good night, everybody.